we're 2 weeks away from the start of the APEC meeting in South Carolina, where President Trump and President
South Korea.
South Korea. Thank you, South Korea. What I say?
South
South Carolina.
South Korea. That'd be cool if it were there. China betting. This is Wall Street Journal. China betting it can win a trade war is playing hardball with Trump. My view, based on reporting, is that they're just trying to get to this meeting. Sean has raised this for weeks. Just trying to get to the meeting, a mini deal at the meeting, and lay the groundwork for a subsequent meeting at a time TBD. But between now and then, they got to finesse all the complexities. Here's Scott Besson on CNBC this morning talking about China 111.
I think that things can de-escalate, that we don't want to have to escalate. We have things that are more powerful than the rare earth export controls that the Chinese want to put on. And sir, to be clear, this is China versus the world. It's not a U.S.-China problem. Good news is that this is IMF week. A lot of my counterpart, or all my counterparts, are here. We're going to be speaking with our European allies, with Australia, with Canada, with India, and the Asian democracies. And we're going to have a fulsome group response to this, because bureaucrats in China cannot manage the supply chain or the manufacturing process for the rest of the world.
As we said, Secretary of War Hegseth is meeting with allies. Dan, the reason the president got the deal in the Middle East done is because he is a brilliant coalition builder. Despite his critics who say he's dividing the world and alienating our allies, he built a huge coalition with Turkey and Britain. I mean, everybody. And now, as Secretary Besson said, they're trying to do that with China, and they're also trying to do it with Russia. To not just say here's the U.S. giving tomahawks. It's basically everybody is giving tomahawks. So, Dan, is Donald Trump, contrary to the left's view of him, actually a master coalition builder?
We don't know yet, because I think the Middle East was the perfect set of conditions for him, because I said this yesterday. A lot of those governments in the region are very transactional. And so he was able to, do business with them to provide them AI centers and things of that nature. The challenge, as we've talked about, is, at least as of today, the Indians, the other Asian countries don't speak about a friendly relationship with us and in a positive nature of cooperation. They're livid about the tariffs. A lot of the supply chain is moving out of China, and they want to move it into Vietnam and other places. So we've always said this: if your goal is to surround China, then it's like, what can I do for you? And I think perhaps Besson and Trump have a plan for that. But so far, you don't hear a lot of comments that are very positive.
Sean?
Well, I will say, I think bringing all of Europe together and showing success on this peace plan has really sort of probably helped the overall idea of like, hey, we actually can get stuff done using the tactics of President Trump, which is what they've largely sort of ignored. Kind of saying, okay, well, let's do it economically now. By the way, I think that's the first time anyone's ever said it's a good thing it's IMF week, ever. So I don't know that anyone's ever referred to IMF week as a good thing. And anyone who's been downtown DC when the World Bank or IMF meet know that that's not a good thing.
That's as exciting as Scott Besson gets, is what you're
right. Exactly. Yay. But I do think that look, the bigger and broader point is, I think that they understand that we've got to get a deal with China. And that I think one of the things that I hope keeps coming out is that we better understand that, like, long-term wise, being tethered to them and dependent on them, rare earth stuff is the tip of the spear on, like, our independence. Like, if we can't do that, it's AI, it's chips, it's cars, it's computers, it's phones, boom, 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 boom.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.